Captain Zextar of the Vorthak hunting fleet had never encountered anything quite like the small blue planet's dominant species. The humans had no natural armor, possessed laughably weak physical strength, and lacked any obvious predatory adaptations. Yet somehow they had not only survived but thrived on a world that seemed designed to kill them. "This will be simple," Zextar had told his crew as their ship descended through Earth's atmosphere. "We hunt, we feed, we move on." The Vorthak were apex predators from the Kepler system, 12 feet of rippling muscle, razor-sharp claws, and enough bite force to crush titanium. They had conquered 17 worlds always the same way: land, hunt the dominant species to extinction, harvest resources, repeat. It was efficient. It was natural. It was their way. Zextar materialized in what the humans called Central Park, his cloaking device shimmering off. The afternoon sun filtered through ancient trees as joggers passed by, completely unaware of the death that had just arrived in their midst. He selected his target, a lone human sitting on a bench throwing pieces of bread to small winged creatures. The human was average by their species standards, medium height, brown hair going gray at the temples, wearing simple clothing. He appeared to be in his 50s past his physical prime, perfect prey. Zextar's hunting instincts surged as he approached. This was the moment he lived for, when prey first sensed danger, when their fight-or-flight response kicked in, when pure terror flooded their system. He dropped into a predatory crouch, muscles coiled, and let out a bone-chilling roar that had frozen the blood of countless beings across the galaxy. The human looked up from his bread-feeding activity. Instead of the expected panic, his face showed curiosity. "Well, hello there," the human said calmly, as if greeting a neighbor. "That's quite an impressive set of teeth you've got." Zextar paused. This wasn't the usual response. The human should be running, screaming, or at minimum showing some basic survival instinct. Instead, he continued sitting casually on the bench. "I am Zextar, apex predator of Kepler 438b, he snarled, extending his claws to their full, terrifying length. "I have come to hunt your kind." "Oh, a hunter." The human's eyes lit up with what appeared to be genuine interest. "I'm Bob, by the way. Bob Peterson. I teach elementary school down the street." He gestured toward a nearby building. "Well, I'm retired now, but old habits." This conversation was rapidly departing from Zextar's usual hunting script. He decided to demonstrate his lethality more directly. With lightning speed, he lunged forward, claws extended, ready to tear into soft, human flesh. Bob calmly reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a small stick and tossed it past Zextar's head. "Fetch," Bob said pleasantly. Zextar's predatory momentum carried him past Bob, and without thinking, his head swiveled to track the movement of the thrown object. Every hunting instinct in his body screamed at him to pursue the moving target. His claws retracted slightly as his focus shifted. He caught himself mid-stride, shaking his massive head. What is this trickery?" "Oh, sorry about that," Bob chuckled. "Force of habit. 30 years of teaching 8-year-olds and owning dogs will do that to you. You just reminded me of my old German Shepherd Rex. Same hunting posture, same intensity." He reached into his other pocket and pulled out a small wrapped item. "Want a sandwich? My wife always packs too much lunch." Zextar stared at the offered food. In all his cycles of hunting, no prey had ever offered to feed him. I am here to consume you, human. Your species will be our next harvest." "Well, that's unfortunate," Bob said, unwrapping his sandwich anyway. "Turkey and Swiss, your loss." He took a bite and continued talking between chews. "So, 17 worlds, you said? That's quite a track record. Must be exhausting, all that traveling and hunting. Do you ever take vacation time?" "Vacation time?" Zextar's mind reeled. "I am a predator. I do not require—" "Oh, everyone needs downtime," Bob interrupted gently. "Trust me, I've seen what happens when people don't take breaks. Burnout is real. Even for, Galactic apex. Predators, I'd imagine. Something unprecedented was happening in Zextar's mind. For the first time in his existence, he wasn't thinking about hunting. Instead, he found himself considering Bob's words. When was the last time he had simply rested? Your technique is interesting, though, Bob continued conversationally. Very direct approach, all intimidation and physical presence. My students would probably love you. They're always drawing monsters that look just like you. Though I have, to say your hunting style could use some work. My hunting style? Zextar's pride flared. I am the apex predator of— Oh, I'm not questioning your predator credentials, Bob said quickly. It's just that you're thinking like a solitary hunter when humans are pack animals. Always have been. See those joggers? He pointed to several humans running past. None of them stopped to help when you roared because they assumed someone else would handle it. Classic bystander effect. But if you actually threatened one of them, the whole pack would turn on you. As if summoned by Bob's words, a jogger slowed down near their bench. Hey, Bob, she called out. Everything okay? Your friend there looks a little intense. Everything's fine, Sarah. Just having a chat with Zextar here about hunting strategies. Cool. See you at book club Thursday? Sarah jogged in place, eyeing Zextar with mild curiosity rather than fear. Wouldn't miss it, Bob replied. After Sarah continued her run, Bob turned back to Zextar. See what I mean? She didn't run because I'm calm, but she also didn't ignore you completely. If I had shown distress, she'd have called for help. Probably had police here in minutes. Zextar sat down heavily on the grass, his massive frame dwarfing the small bench. This is not how hunting is supposed to work. Maybe that's the problem, Bob suggested gently. You've been thinking of us as prey, but humans don't really have natural predators. We're persistence hunters, tool users, pack coordinators. We're the species that looked at wolves and said, hey, want to be friends? Then spent thousands of years turning apex predators into pets that fetch sticks and sleep on our beds. Bob reached over and scratched behind what might have been Zextar's ear. To his utter shock, Zextar found the sensation pleasant. The thing about humans, Bob continued, is that we don't really see things as predators and prey. We see things as potential friends, potential problems to solve, or potential projects to work on. You came here to hunt us, but honestly, you just look lonely. Zextar looked down at his claws, then at Bob's gentle hands, then at the peaceful park around them. Humans walked their domesticated former wolves on leashes. Children played games that involved chasing and being chased, but with laughter instead of terror. An elderly woman fed birds that showed no fear of her presence. I have spent my entire existence hunting, Zextar said slowly. I do not know how to be anything else. Well, Bob said, standing up and brushing crumbs off his pants. Lucky for you, humans love a good rehabilitation project. How do you feel about elementary education? I know the school district has been looking for someone to teach kids about different planetary ecosystems. For the first time in his life, Zextar found himself considering a future that didn't involve hunting. And surprisingly, the idea didn't terrify him. It made him curious. Would the younglings really want to learn from someone like me? Bob smiled. Trust me, they'll love you. Just maybe tone down the roaring during indoor voice time. 3 months later, Mr. Zextar's third-grade class had the highest science test scores in the district, and several of his students had started a pen pal program with young Vorthak on Kepler 438b. The hunting fleet had been converted into an interstellar education exchange program. Bob still visited sometimes, always bringing turkey sandwiches and stories about his German shepherd. And sometimes, when no one was looking, he'd toss Zextar a stick, just for old time's sake.